Boom. We're live. Just sitting here in New Hampshire doing absolutely nothing. Or might be doing something here in a second. I don't know. It depends where's this guy going. So we're just enjoying a nice scrambled omelet this morning. And hopefully be coming out of here in a decent amount of time because I got a second stop over here in US Foods here. Door 3? All right, thanks. So looks like I got a door. That's good, I guess. I'll have to sit here and wait for 2 hours to get a door. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, U.S. Foods and where I gotta go? Londonderry? No, not Londonderry. Seaford, New Hampshire. Losing my voice. It's been off and on now for the last 2 or 3 days. Apparently, you go to a little league game, and yeah, I guess when you have a bunch of little kids coughing all over you and around you and stuff, I guess you're bound to get something. So, I think I got bronchitis or a decent sinus infection, one or the other. Let's go get back to no door. Figure I would have waited a little bit longer here because all the doors are full, but I guess that guy pulled out. Pardon the interruption of live feed here. Oh man. So what's cracking it? Anything new going on, guys? I'd imagine Jerome Jones is probably in here, even no one's said anything yet. Go open his door or something while we wait for him to back in. Oh, I just had this thing washed. I sat in a freaking dirty, muddy ass parking lot last night. Now it looks like shit again. It's all over my shoes. One thing I hate doing is spending like $70 on a truck wash, and then like 2 or 3 days later, have a bunch of mud and shit flung all over it. So, I mean, if anybody does the Reaper game, pretty sure you might know where I'm at because there probably ain't much out here in Londonderry, New Hampshire. Over here at Prime Food Group, which seems like a pretty decent facility. even though it's got some mixed reviews on it. Tell you what, I'd rather be in this part of the Northeast than down there by Boston or New York City, or I'll take Maine and New Hampshire any day. The only thing that sucks up here is finding parking and fuel. But when you do find the parking, you ain't fighting many people for it, that's for sure. Straight. Well, he's on the white line over here. He's good with the door. Why not I go to the door on the white line? Oh, because the damn white line's crooked as hell. That's why we're. All right, easy peasy. All right, let's get to some of these comments here. I'm sure there's probably something. Oop. Oh, maybe there ain't no comments. All right. So, yeah, if you're in here now, I'm at Prime Food Group over here in Londonderry, New Hampshire. Let me go put the electronics wheel chalk out, which this guy didn't do. So I guess I don't know. I guess he figures I'll just unload them. Oh, I don't think I'll load you, dude, if you don't put your wheel chalk there. I don't know. You got place got the electronic wheel chalk, and obviously knows when you got the chalk under the damn wheels. And he just backed up, and that's it. So I know some of these places won't even let you put the dock down if they aren't chalked. So I don't know. Beats the hell out of me. Hell, they already put the dock plate down. Shit. All right, so I guess I will be making my 10 o'clock appointment over here at U.S. Foods and Seafood or wherever the hell it is. What is it? Seabrook, New Hampshire. So I know I've been off YouTube for a while. And I just finally downloaded at least the first part of my vacation there. From what? That was what, mid-April, that vacation? So I've been pretty much hanging off YouTube. Not really uploaded much because it's been busy. Um, things over here, I wouldn't say are getting tight, but they're getting I wouldn't say they're busy or I don't know. It's just there's a lot more competition, I guess. I guess they're Tyson's requiring a lot more. They want things done different right now than they were being done. So I guess you could say my schedules are tighter. They're packing more loads on me or more runs in a shorter amount of time. I don't get like a couple hours in between drops or anything or next day schedule. They're trying to schedule everything in one day, and I just simply don't have time to come on here usually or make a video for that matter. Plus, between my vacation and the kid playing ball and stuff now, I just don't really have a lot of time to make videos. I mean, I guess I could, but it's not really. It's going to be boring content. It's almost going to be like the blog style. And obviously, I can see I'm not that good at telling stories on a blog because the vacation one I just did, the log cabin, it's not really talking about much or talking about anything really on it. I didn't even tell you where I was going most of the time. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll get better at that. But in the meantime, what I've been doing is just pretty much watching Asia Maya. Well, the Mother Trucker podcast / news, and just seeing all the calamity that's going on. All right, apparently this egg ain't gonna break apart. All the calamity that's going on in the trucking world. So I see that we got massive amounts of people drilling our tires out. We got trucks and trailers being stole left and right. We have the Warner appeal that fell through, which I didn't think it was going to. That, I don't know. That totally makes no sense. It's almost like I would say it's about to the point where to insure a trucking company, it's probably not worth it. I mean, I bet you in the next 5 years, if we keep it up with stupid verdicts like that, why would anybody want to be in the insurance field of insuring big rigs? They're all going to require self-insurance. And now thinking about it, because I've been reading some articles from the ATA, it seems like they might be trying to. That's what they're trying to. I think maybe that's what the ATA is trying to lobby for, because the ATA pretty much represents the mega carriers, and they all have self-insurance. Either the entire amount, I don't know, whatever the bond is, or it depends on states and stuff, or they have $1 million, and then after $1 million, some other insurance company takes up the rest. So if you think about it, if you can screw the insurance market up enough, you pretty much wipe out your competition, because there'll be no small to mid-sized carriers will be able to afford insurance or even get it here shortly. Like I said, if they keep this up, because there used to be, I forget the exact numbers, but I remember way back in 2010, there used to be like maybe 100 insurers that offered truck insurance. Maybe it was 50, I don't know, something like that. I know it's dwindled down to like, I don't know, 20 or something like that. There's not many options out there anymore. So if these giant verdicts continue to go, and the insurance company is just going to be bad business. They're not going to want to do it. They're not going to want to insure trucking companies, especially smaller ones like this and stuff. And eventually, there'll be a monopoly. And it's hard to say, but I think it's being regulated. I think we're being regulated out of this industry is really what's happening. Just like what they did to the movers. What is it? I think like there's a few states where you got to get okayed by the state committee. It's ran by usually other moving companies to whether or not you can open your business. I don't know. I'm just shooting the shit right now. It's just utterly ridiculous. But to be honest, at this rate, I don't really see much of a future in trucking. Unless you happen to have your own authority right now and have maybe 10 plus trucks, then you're willing to like take a big gamble and just expand dramatically. I almost don't even think it's worth it, really. I mean, it's going to be an owner operator, at least onto a carrier. But like I said, between the AB5 and everything else, I don't know how much longer that's going to even last. I will say, though, after this election cycle, it's really going to matter. It's going to make a big difference in what's going on. I don't care who you are, whether you are, but I think things, at least in business sense, will calm down a little bit, and the economy will calm down a little bit. But until then, I don't think there's any certainty in trucking. I can kind of see that at least the autonomy, I think the autonomy trucks, we don't have to worry about too much for, at least for a while. Ever since that one company went bankrupt, a lot of OEMs and stuff saw that video, and I guess a lot of them their lawyers saw it, or their risk assessment companies that they have hired or whatever might have, seen it. But I think a lot of OEMs have kind of at least took a few steps back from autonomy. And I think we're at least a little bit, safe. We probably pushed that, kicked that can down the road about another like 10 years, I would say. Although there is this trucking company now in Ohio teamed up with somebody that's trying to do, what do they call it? Almost like a conveyor belt system. It's like a team where you'll have one driver and the trucks will just follow that driver, which I can see that. That's pretty much low key technical, ability and know-how, I guess. But the problem is, technically, those trucks would be autonomous, I would imagine. And if their only certain function is just to follow the lead vehicle, there's going to be four-wheelers entering and exiting the highway, an accident or something. You still got all these other situations that could happen. Well, it was a truck just going to simply stop in the middle of the road when it loses the lead vehicle, pull over to the side. You have a line of like 10 trucks pulled over to the side of the road because it lost the lead vehicle. So I don't know. That we'll just gotta see how that plays out. I don't think that's going to work either. I think that's going to cause a lot more problems. I'm guessing they're just thinking they're going to use it as a turnpike, like a turnpike, like a form of turnpike. So I guess that's why they're using Ohio. They're probably using it on like just 80, and maybe that's about it. Maybe like you might end up seeing it in New York and stuff too on 90, but But that's I could see that maybe coming on in the next year or two, like full force. But we'll see. Anything happy to talk about within the industry? Not that I really see. I guess we get our bathrooms here soon. I think what July 1st we get to Washington passed that law that mandates that shippers have to supply us a bathroom. Now I don't know if that's gonna, I guess some places it's gonna translate into a real bathroom again. Other places just gonna transform into a porta potty that no one ever takes care of, and you go in there and it's all screwed up because all the other truck drivers and bottles and no toilet paper and stuff. But I guess it's better than nothing. So, guess it beats shitting in a bag. But so I guess that's a good thing that's coming back. That most of these shippers pretty much took away the bathrooms and haven't given them back after COVID. So at least we'll retain our dignity, or somewhat our dignity back. Other than that, there ain't really nothing going on good, I would say, in trucking. You got the Texas Truck Show coming. I don't know. I guess if I'm down that way, I might go, but I'm probably not going to go. I don't know. There ain't really anything good to talk about, at least per se, as the industry's getting better. Me personally, I'm just hanging on in here, I guess. Wondering when, I go to get dispatched and they just don't have nothing for me. Like I've already spent a few days sitting around. Not necessarily because I don't know. It's not necessarily they just don't have the products. I think they're trying to change. Tyson, I think, is trying to change how they do their lanes or whatnot. So I think they're trying to go. They're going through like growing pains, I guess you could say, for that. But I don't know. Tyson overall, though, I don't know. If you look at their stocks are down like 25-30%. I don't necessarily know that's gonna mean that they're having really big problems, but they sure don't look promising. I'm definitely don't want to endure that. I'm pretty sure I'm getting comments here. I would imagine at least Jerome Jones probably popped in here. All right, now I don't got comments. All right, I was just checking to make sure I'm just not broadcasting on YouTube or not. That's all I wanted to know. The last couple times I've gone live on YouTube's app or their whatever you want to call it, their platform, and it's turned into a disaster. Either it stops recording me halfway through, or I'm getting tons of comments and they ain't popping up. So I just wanted to make sure that wasn't happening with StreamYard. I don't know. Let me think here about something decent to talk about. Because, like I said, there's really nothing. I can't think of one good thing that's happened in trucking since the rates, I guess, dropped 2 years ago. I know a lot of. I know it's kind of getting old. It's kind of getting old talking about how shitty the rates are, how crappy the lanes are, how much overcapacity there is, and I don't know, like how these guys are still hanging on by their teeth. I mean, it's sad to say that, but there just simply are people that shouldn't be out on the road that are somehow magically in business, and I don't know, it's not really their fault for everything that's happening, but they're short prolonging it, I would say. But that being said, let's try to talk about how you can survive, I guess, right now. Um, I'm sure everyone's already heard this story over and over, but like I pretty much left the spot market, or a carrier that mostly dealt with the spot market, or at least they did have dedicated freight. It just a lot of these carriers just overhired because the money was there. So, hold on. That being said, I like having bronchitis or something like that. But or sinus infection, one or the other. But for the most part, there are still certain carriers out there that are doing dedicated. If you can get on with a dedicated carrier, that's pretty much the only thing that's going to really save you right now. And when I mean you're going to get on a dedicated carrier, I'm not mean you're gonna go from running spot market $3 or $4 mile loads. Wow, that was fast. All right, thank you very much, sir. Oh, it's stuck in the back here. Oh, I guess they just stapled it together. Okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. I hate how they do that. All right. So, wow, I was literally here for, I don't know, however long, 26 minutes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And even did what's it called, the wheel shop for me. All right, we're not going too far. We're probably going to go down the road here. And I'm going to pull over. Because, like I said, my appointment's not until go out that way. All right. Yeah. That's what I think. I was going to say, it's a little hard to take that turn. Well, yeah. So, yeah, this is going to be a good day. I can see that already. To be honest, I got to sit around anyway for a little bit because I spent the night right around the corner here and I did the little ELD crawl here because for some reason over there by Danbury, Connecticut last night, I sat in traffic for like freaking an hour, like, yeah, basically an hour in there. And when I picked this load up, they had no idea on, I guess they had the load ready, but nobody made any delivery appointments. So I had no idea when the load was gonna, was supposed to be here. I just knew that I had to be here like probably in the morning or at least in the evening. And while I was sitting in traffic, they finally got back to me and told me that I had a 6 a.m. appointment, which was fine, except for the fact I only had basically an hour to be able to get my 10-hour break in, and I basically used the hour up sitting in traffic over there in Danbury. So, all right. So we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit until my 10-hour clock is finally reset. So it shouldn't be too long. I've only got a few minutes really left. I think maybe like half hour, 20 minutes or something. Oh, I guess I should put the seal on over here. Probably be a good thing to do before I forget. And hopefully I got a pallet in there in the back that basically is crumbling under its own weight. Hopefully that don't turn into a problem. I would imagine what's going to happen is after I drop this load off, they're going to dispatch me up to Portland, Maine. There's two facilities up there that I don't know, I guess they make chicken nuggets or chicken patties or something. I know they cook the chicken, so we're just going to crawl over here and park on the side here because, like I said, I still got at least 20 minutes to go. Technically, I'm going to have to wait basically an hour because I have to put myself on duty and all that. Oh, man, I tell you what, ELDs don't make things easy. They should definitely reamp the way ELDs work. I've been, I guess, listening, hearing a lot of guys talk about I don't know. I guess following the ELD like to the point, right to the point. And I guess technically the ELD is the law of the land, so that's really what you're supposed to do. But if everybody followed the ELD mandates and everything exactly, exactly to the T, yeah, I'm pretty sure rates would definitely come up because between shipping times and stuff, you'd have guys sitting 2 days to get unloaded because they showed up at a inconvenient time for the receiver or shipper. So, and also I've been seeing on Facebook, yeah, I don't know, I guess it's these new super truckers. They're all starting to get in their head that when you get to a shipper, I know it's been off and on ever since the LDs came to light. When you're sitting in the dock of the shipper in the sleeper berth, that you need to be on duty no matter what. And I would say you read the mandate and everything, that's probably they might be right. It's a pretty, it's one of those interpretation gray areas because what they would really like you to do is let's say you were in the bunk. Let's say you sat the shipper like 9.5 hours. Well, when the guy either comes up and knocks on the door to give you your paperwork or you go in to get the paperwork, they want you to automatically put yourself on duty no matter what. I mean, that's kind of retarded, but I mean, if they gave you a more lenient leniency to be able to get your 10-hour, your break in, maybe, instead of having a 10-hour break or have maybe two 5-hour splits or two, a 7 and a 3 or something, or a 7 and, 8 and 2, maybe to have it actually reset your clock instead of do what it does now. You might actually be able to fulfill that kind of commitment, at least to the LD. So we're just going to go park over in the little parking area right here in this complex. And, I might just park on the side of the road until I try to back into there again. And just wait it out. What do we got going on here? Shannon Thomas Trucking is in the house. How's it going, Shannon? We're just chugging along here, not doing anything real interesting. I just figured I'd go live while I was sitting there waiting for a door. I figured I'd be waiting for at least an hour, but I was waiting maybe 5-10 minutes. So, and heck, it only took them 20 minutes to unload me. So, gotta definitely put this place in my book of freaking awesome places to go deliver to. It's basically a performance food. I mean, it's not. They aren't owned or anything. I don't think they're associated with it, but it's basically a performance food group. It's a food distribution center. And I tell you what, if they all ran like that, it'd be great. Like I know this U.S. Foods I'm going to over. Where the hell was it again? Seafood. Oh, I don't remember where it was. I want to say Seaford, but I know it's not. Seabrook. Yeah, I've been there before. A good, I don't know, 10 times at least, and I've never had any problems with them. They've always gotten me in and out within like 2 hours, so I don't think I'm gonna have any problems there today. Now I'm gonna turn back and then start parking. Sick. Try not to get the truck as money as possible. Again. Off-roading in the T680. Time to get the truck all muddy on the bottom again. See, I don't know why. So most of these warehouse complexes, they usually always seem to have some kind of dirt lot or open area nearby. And I'm guessing they usually try to, fulfill their, get as much money as possible as they can for their space that they have, the amount of land. But they have all this excess land that usually they, either through, what do you want to call it, municipality permits and requirements and stuff, they can't build on it, but they can like at least make a parking lot. I don't know why they still a lot of these large industrial complexes they just don't simply throw in a gravel like it's a gravel parking area. I mean, I guess I know why, because somebody's got to upkeep it, somebody's got to get rid of all the trash, and according to a lot of these, I don't know, I don't see a lot according to a lot of these committees and stuff, the crime committees, truck stops harbor a lot of crime. I don't know. I guess in certain areas they do. I mean, I never really seen a truck stop turn into like a drug kingpin area or something, or even I saw this prostitution everyone talks about at truck stops. I don't ever see that either. So I don't know why like I said, I don't know why they just can't make some of these areas just a gravel parking lot, just to fulfill some of these shippers' needs or receivers. Like they could just, I would imagine they could at least just ask everyone to put in a little bit of money to pour some gravel, and it sure would alleviate a lot of the problems I guess we have with parking, or at least help out. All right, let's see what's going on down here. Oh, you're stuck in St. Louis. Yeah, it's not the best area to go down. Let's see. Oh, you went and walked the dog. Yeah, I should probably get it out. I don't know. Like I said, there for a while when I was going around. I got a pair of tongs, and I was going around and in the mornings and walking and just picking up trash, putting it in a trash bag and throwing it in a dumpster. That was my little morning exercise slash help help the environment out or whatnot. But I don't know. I kind of stopped doing that a little bit. I kind of started getting truck drivers actually like making fun of me for doing it. When I'm actually out there picking the shit up. Or no, the best one is, where was I at? Oh, I think I was in Virginia off 95. I think I was at the Flying J over there, and I was walking around the parking lot picking stuff up. And the one guy was like, "Yo, what's you a trash man?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just." And he's like, "Oh, here you go. Here's some extra." And he threw a bunch of shit out of his truck. Uh, yeah, that was pretty interesting. I was like, "Yep." I was like, "People wonder why they hate us." Anyway, I guess what was I originally talking about here? I guess ways to maybe help out your income and stuff. So, like I said, I got on with a direct carrier that had a direct customer, and I would say that's probably about the only way. If you're really hurting, uh, you know, some of it it's not even going to matter about your business plan, uh, your cost. You could have almost no cost right now. Be down in, I don't know, the $1.25, $1.30 a mile range for your cost, and you're not going to be making much money. I'm hearing a lot of, was a store order the other day. I had them go look up some flatbed loads out of Pennsylvania, and they're $1.80, $1.75 down to Texas. What was it? That one was South Dakota for a dollar. I think it was $1.85. Nobody wants to freaking do that. And that's not, especially flatbed loads. That's not a way to make money. Uh, I mean, I guess you could make it. You could make it on $1.85. Uh, but you're talking about what? Maybe making the same amount as a company driver then? 50-cent profit margin. Uh, not putting much away for maintenance and repairs. I guess that's technically why you should save when times are good, so you have a continuously decent check. But it is what it is right now. Um, it's really hard out there, and I mean, I'm trying to just think about how I was dealing with it earlier when I was on the spot market, because right now I am shielded, but I am getting a little worried. Like I said, I keep reading articles, this about Tyson, that about Tyson. They're they're stopped this. They're closing this plant and everything, and I'm getting kind of worried that it's starting to become apparent that it's more than just trucking. It's becoming apparent that it's the economy, and it's getting a little scary now for me because this is pretty much the crutch that I decided to go with. And after this, I don't really have any. This was my like plan C or D or whatever you want to call it. I'm already up there. There ain't much else to do when things start going south like this. If companies start legitimately having problems staying in business, uh, and then you're going to have, everyone's like, "Oh, just become a company driver." Then, well, guess what's going to happen? So is everyone else. Yeah, and if there's no work, there's why would they hire company drivers if there's no work? So I'm hoping we're not like. I mean, I kind of see that we are, but I mean, I'm hoping we're not going to go into a true economic recession. I would actually probably more like depression. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I was trying to say that there is some light at the end of the tunnel, but to be honest, there really isn't. I mean, if you're going to fool yourself right now and think that everything's going to be happy dory and that I'm just going to put it out there, and that Trump's going to win this next election, or DeSantis, which yeah, I don't think DeSantis is going to make it past the primaries, but it's there is no light at the end of the tunnel. So I guess what I'm trying to say is basically prepare for the worst, because I don't think the best is going to come here for a long time. I don't think we're having any good days ahead. I don't know if anybody's ever going to watch this, ever remembers like 2008 trucking, or yeah, I would like. Well, at the end of 2018 wasn't too bad. I mean, at least for me, it wasn't. But apparently, I remember a lot of guys were like saying the sky was falling after 2018 into 2019. But 2008 trucking was pretty crappy. And just the economy was crappy. There wasn't, I mean, I guess as long as you had a secure job doing something, you were pretty much safe. But if you were in any kind of volatile type of business that relied on the economy to do half decent, you were screwed. Like if you were a contractor for houses and stuff, you had problems. Just anything that dealt with, the implosion there. Yeah, I got some comments I'm not reading. Let's see. PD just got back from upstate New York into Richmond, Virginia. Bedtime. Be safe. Hope your load doesn't take forever. Be safe, bud. Yeah, thanks there, man. Yeah, I'm actually get to be able to run day shift. It looks like this week for once. Shannon Thomas, yes, you're right. Shannon Thomas trucking. I think we are gonna be pinched like this for another year. In my opinion, it's gonna hurt, but we're gonna keep it pushing. No, and I hope I'm gonna lose my voice. I'm trying not to. It's really, like I said, I went to my kids' baseball game. I was fine, and then everyone there, all the kids were coughing and stuff and gagging and crap. And I was like, maybe it's just allergies, but no, I think it's like bronchitis or something, or either that or I got a sinus infection. But it's starting to turn into a sinus infection. I think that's what's happened to it. But I'm just glad I don't feel like I did the very first day I had whatever the hell I had here. Felt like crap, really run down. But yeah, like I was saying, the thing that's the thing that bothers me a little bit is I'm still on YouTube and I still see guys pitching programs and things you can do to be a successful owner operator. What was it? I keep calling him Asian Maya, but Mother Trucker Alex. Anyway, we all know who he is. Yeah, he put that one article, or not article, but put that one website on blast, or the guy's basically hustling, saying, my $1,900 program will make you a successful owner operator and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I didn't buy it and look at it, but I mean, it's probably the same crap as, that all these programs are. It either gives you a number to call to get your authority, walks you maybe through the steps of, attaining your authority on the FMCSA website. It just either holds your hand or has links and stuff to, basically, get a hold of the FMCSA to get your authority and stuff like that. I mean, there's probably some kind of business plan in there, but you can't when there's so much volatility in the market like there is now. You don't know. One day you might be pulling a load for $3 a mile. The next day you might be pulling a load for $1.25 a mile. When you have that volatility, I don't care how good your business plan is or what you thought you were going to get out of this market or out of trucking and everything. You can pretty much throw all that shit out the window. When it gets like this, it's pretty much quick, decisive decisions are what's going to keep you around, really. And giving up things. yeah, you're gonna have to give up, things that you might hold dear. Like you're gonna probably have to give up home time, for the most part. When it turns, you have to run more miles. You're gonna have to give up some of these lavish vacations and stuff. Uh, you know, like I know the things I'm doing. I kind of wish I'm kind of thinking that maybe I shouldn't be doing, some of the vacations and things that I've taken that the old lady had planned because, like I said, I might get a phone call one of these days and say that Tyson let this carrier go, or they're going, full. What do you want to call it? What do they want to call it? Indoor fleet. They're going to just use their fleet. It could happen. Uh, I know if from what I heard Walmart is stepping up their game. They want to be 100% or just about 100% independent with their fleet and not have any outside carriers, which I don't think is ever going to technically happen. But I've noticed I haven't delivered to Walmarts here lately. Uh, I don't know if maybe I just got maybe like I said, Tyson's been doing some restructuring. Maybe somebody else, maybe KLM got is doing that lane or another CRL driver. But I haven't seen a Walmart in a long time. So who knows? Maybe Walmart's coming to pick up their own chicken now. Uh, and when you have things like that happen, somebody's got to go. They can't have all these extra trucks signed on, with these other carriers servicing a Tyson account when you got Walmart that just took like 20% of the workload off of you. So, like I said, I see a lot of that going on with some of these companies. They're restructuring the way they haul freight and do that, and it's just going to keep dwindling the freight down. And just you know, so even though we probably lost a lot of overcapacity, when you have situations that arise like that, shippers and receivers and stuff. They're not dumb. They they're going to find ways to cut costs now, and I don't care how much you haul or demand, say how good you deliver and stuff. When times get tough like this, they're just going to go to the price is right, and whoever gives them the price is right. The we know what carriers that can accomplish some of that. That's who they're going to go to, and they'll run it for a while until it becomes a big problem, too much of a hassle, and they'll just jump up to the next highest price and hope the service gets better. Until times are good, shippers and receivers aren't going to carry. They're not going to care if your truck's new, your truck's clean or not. They're not going to care if they're not. I mean, they're going to probably still care about your CSA score and stuff, but I mean, they're probably not going to look at it as hard as they. Well, they didn't really look at it hard either last year, but there's just going to be certain things that don't really fly that are going to fly now. And they're going to require more too. I've noticed that a lot of guys are talking about they need washouts all the time now again. Um, I've heard brokers wanting pictures of the side of the truck. That's just because all this scam stuff's going on. And you know what? A lot of guys are saying it's all these brokers are scamming, but you know what? There's a lot of carriers now doing scammy stuff too. Where was I at? I was trying to think of the food distribution center. It was a no-name distribution center, like, independent. And I was talking to them in there, and they're talking about you got carriers in there that are they're like they'll get a load and they'll broker it out. You got carriers broken out loads that have no reason to broker out a load. Or the ability, I should say. They don't have the ability to it. They don't have the authority or anything or the insurance in place. And he says, you'll got guys come in, they'll have like numbers and their names duct taped to the side of the truck and stuff. And he says, you'll see them do it right in the parking lot. They'll pull it off and they'll just print it. Either, I guess they just print out the company's name and they slap it on the side of the truck in the parking lot and then back up into here and be like, hey, we're here to pick stuff up. He says it's getting ridiculous. He says some of the shit you see. And that all that shows me is that the FMCSA isn't doing their due diligence and their requirements. I mean, they'll sure as hell probably go after like a guy like me or a guy like DIY or something, or like Tim Gentry. But these other guys, they just do what they want, and if they get caught, they just simply drop. They open up a new authority in their brother's or cousin's name or whatever the heck they do, and it just the cycle continues. And the penalties, the penalties just aren't justifying. They hit them with what, a couple $1,000s in penalties. They clip their authority, and like I said, they open up another authority under their cousin's or nephew's name or whatnot or wife's name, and they just continue to do the same shit they did until they get clipped again. And they'll just keep doing it until they get, I guess until they run out of people to open up an authority in. But I'm seeing this now time and time again. It's turned into like the Wild West of I wouldn't say the Wild West. It's like turned into like the third world economic trucking form, I guess. And the FMCSA ain't doing nothing about it. The law enforcement ain't really doing anything about it, or these guys will be off the road. They're too worried about our ELDs, too worried about these blitzes. And you know what, though? These blitzes, though. So every year we have, or months, year, we have these blitzes. And everyone's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I understand why guys, don't like these blitzes. You'll get some of these way stations that are, the guys are just dicks, or they're gonna find something no matter what. Like they would find something on this truck, for God's sakes. But then you got the way stations. Like there's a few. If you go on Facebook, there's Iowa 80 way station out there. They post some of the stuff that they find that's wrong, and some of the bull crap that's going on, and you're like I can't believe some of this stuff exists. Like I wish they would take I wish they would take pictures of the truck. I would love to see the company name, love to see who was driving it, but they don't unfortunately do that. But it would sure as hell probably validate my assumptions on what's going on out here. They got guys that freaking, I could see if you take a pair of vice grips and you close off your brake chamber, to just get you down the road to the TA or something. You got guys constantly, they got two brake chambers vice gripped off and duct taped, and they probably been running around like, you can tell that vice grips are so rusty, and they've been running around for like a year like that, And it amazes me that they don't get caught, because I know some of these way stations you go through, they have cameras like right at the wheel height or right underneath. Some of them you go right over a camera, and these guys aren't getting caught. What's up, Jersey Trucker? And it amazes me like how effed up this industry is getting, just between all the stuff I'm seeing like off the Mother Trucker news and everything like that. It's almost disheartening. Like I figured by the end of this year, I would at least either try to put an engine in my old 9400 and get my authority started again, and either be trying to run end dump, maybe even by this summer, maybe be running end dump with it, or either that or sign it on to here. I would probably, I don't know, before I would sign it on here, I think I'd try to sell it. Because like I said, it's hard getting guys to drive older trucks, because I've already dealt with that. And I know the 9400 is pretty old, and like I said, it'd probably be a good end dump truck or maybe a flatbed truck still. But guys want to drive, they either want to drive a 379 Pete chromed out, or they want to drive this like a brand spanking new T680. And for me to make that kind of commitment, and when I mean commitment, I mean that kind of financial risk, I guess, in this kind of economy and this kind of market and stuff. It's pretty far fetched. But I know, at least from experience, that majority of these larger companies, larger fleets, they came in the bad times, and they were able to make it. And when the good times came back, they were golden, as long as they didn't, overextend their credit, kept some kind of cash on hand. They were good to go, and that's why I'm thinking about taking the risk. But this isn't like the normal political, normal economic environment that we're like used to. It's like we went from what every century or so having like an economic disaster, maybe 10 or 20 years or something like that, to now it seems like what every 4 or 5 years now. Every election cycle we're having a like a yo-yo effect. Uh, Probably ever since I guess Bush and Obama and all that. It's just been like every 48 years there's been an economic yo-yo, and it's getting a little ridiculous. Oh, let's see here. Just come to sign on to like trucking. That's not where you're going, Shannon, right? You're still staying with Dart, right? I'd imagine you are. Unless you paid the Dart truck off. Um, but I mean, even if you watch Snorlord and stuff, like they're not. I mean, they're doing okay, but they're not doing stellar. I mean, they're even says it. You know, rates are down. But right now, like I said, it's consistency. It's consistency that's going to keep you afloat right now in this economy, in this market. It's not, you're not, this isn't going to be the time where you think you're going to start buying your brand new Chevy 1500s and your Silverados and your Ram, TRXs or whatever, your side by sides. This is going to be the type of market slash economy where you, probably, if you can, pay your debt off. That'd probably be the best thing you do right now. Um, put as many hours and days in as you can, because when times get good again, you'll be able to spend all that time with your family again, and it'll be easy. You'll have no debt. You'll have all that extra cash and plenty of time to spend it with your family. And that's for company drivers too. If I was a company driver too, I'd probably try to take as many hours as I can. Let me check to see if my log's okay here. All right, I got a few more minutes. Probably like half hour still, 20 minutes or so. I don't know. I'll probably be on here for a good hour or so. I'm guessing that's what. Like I said, I just gotta wait till uh till my ten's officially up. Do my thing. Oh man, life of a trucker. Mostly just waiting around and having the government little clock over here to tell you what you can do, what you can't do, and then you try to talk about. Like I said, you try to talk about this stuff on YouTube, and you put out videos or you put out shorts, and you get a bunch of flack, a bunch of BS. You get guys talk about, no, you got to do this with your ELD and that and this and that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how do you expect to actually make money? I just read on a trucker forum, I guess they're a new team, husband and wife, and they stay on duty when they're getting unloaded. Um, it's like there needs to be another like reamp, I would say, of all these rules and regulations because the government doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Uh, when they make these rules and regulations, it just gets worse and worse every year. And like I said, the FMCSA, they like pick who and what, and they don't enforce everything with a broad sword. They nitpick certain companies and certain, um, I guess you want to say, carriers that they want to go after. And I don't know. I really don't know what I'm trying to say. Like I said, I'm trying to find some light at the end of the tunnel here, something like exuberant to talk about, give people a chance, a hope. But there really isn't. And this is talking from a guy that right now is pretty much protected from the market. And even I'm kind of worried because now you can really start seeing the economic toll of everything that's going on. And once the money starts drying up, I don't care who you're signed on with or where you are or whatnot, you're going to start having problems. And I guess what I want to say is kind of prepare for the storm, guys. Whoever's out there, or end up, it's going to end up watching this. Um, it's coming, and I don't think the election's going to help it at all either. I think it's going to get worse with the election. I think there's going to be some really weird things that happen, and I hate to sound like, I don't want to sound like a political nut job or even like jump sides. I mean, anybody who watches my channel kind of knows where I stand with all that, and I don't want to really put that out there because I would like to be able to get views, and I know some people are really really jaded by politics, and I kind of don't want to start problems like within that realm, I guess you could say. But when you eventually you have nowhere to go, you can't, you gotta, let's say you park your truck, you're barely making your payments, you got to become a company driver, then you get laid off from FedEx or who knows wherever you went because the economy's not doing good. Where are you going to end up eventually? These warehouses, they're not going to be hiring. Uh, Fast food joints. I've been hearing fast food joints are closing restaurants down. What was it? Chick-fil-A just closed their first store down that they have or had. So I don't know, guys. It's not looking too good, I would say. And I usually always have something, good to say or a way to maybe pull yourself out of it, but there really isn't. There really isn't it. Uh, just work whatever you got now. Just pretend whatever you're working or whatever you're doing right now. Pretend that any day, well, which is I wouldn't even say pretend, but realistically, any day, whatever honey hole you have, it could dry up and disappear. And that's what I'm starting to come to realize now here with what I have right now, because like I said, I have no plan B, C, or D, or F, or whatnot. This is pretty much my plan C or D or F. You know, because I would imagine if things get bad here where I'm at, I don't care if you're with Swift, Snyder, you know, sure, you might have a job today, you might be doing something right now. Uh, GM driver, hope you're doing well. Trouble 2101. Um, it's like I said, it's a crapshoot all the way around the way you look at it. Like I said, I don't. I'd like to have something good to talk about. Mostly everyone's already put out. Like I said, Mother Trucker. He's already put out, like I said, we have the guys drilling holes in tires. We have the FMCSA. I mean, the blitz that just came up. Uh, like, I'm not saying that it's a good thing that a lot of the companies are going out of business, but I guess I mean, carriers. I guess I should say it's not a good thing that a lot of these carriers are going out of business, but I guess it is. I know rates have kind of stabilized, but they're still low. I'd imagine they came up during the blitz a little bit. I know I heard a lot about the rates popped up just a tad bit in certain areas. But like I said, the other day when I had Snorlord look up those flatbed rates, I don't know. I know I sure as hell wouldn't want to chain and tarp a load for like $1.75 a mile and then drive out to South Dakota or North Dakota where it was. When you get out there, what are you going to do? What are you going to do out in South Dakota? Flatbed or hell, be honest, anything. You know, um, you're going to have like a 300-mile deadhead just about probably to get anything decent. You along with everyone else is there. Read my comments above. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Shannon. Dude, oh, I've been at like trucking since April 1st. Oh, I didn't even hear. Man, I guess I haven't noticed. I didn't hear. I've watched a bunch of Snorlord lives, and I would have imagined that he would have definitely been putting that out there a lot. But I guess I must have missed one or something. I have a brand new 2023 International T now. Okay, all right, man. Jeez. Yeah, that flew way over my head there, Shannon. All right, well, I guess at least you're doing better. But even that, if Shannon made a change, and I would imagine she would probably come out and say that the Dart wasn't really faring too well, because I would imagine Dart has direct customers. I know there used to be a Dart drop yard over in Allentown there, Browningsville. Is that what it is? Browningsville over there by the Nestle plant. I guess there's a Nestle and a Bimbo bakeries there and stuff. So I mean, if Dart's having a hard time keeping her running, obviously it's not, not doing something's not up. Something's not doing good. So what am I getting emails here now? But like I said, there isn't nothing really good to talk about in trucking right now. That's like the weird thing that's like I'm not going to come out here and tell everyone to go hop on and get authority and stuff. It's a real crapshoot. You would have to have balls of steels right now to make an investment like that. And you know what? Like I also say this too. Business, usually I've seen a lot of people get away in business not knowing any goddamn thing. All right. And it's a lot about who you know, your connections. It's almost like how there's LinkedIn and everyone connects with each other. There's a lot of that going on. It's more about who you know than what you know. Sometimes in trucking, that can get you through times like this, or even grow your business. If you're able to make code contacts and secure freight with certain customers and stuff, that I would like to say that you're 100% golden. I mean, there's still a possibility that things could change. Like I said, I had a great contract with a utility pole manufacturer, and they sold the company, and they sold it to a large conglomerate who had shareholders to make happy. And next thing you know, the whole thing changed overnight. Uh, it is what it is, and that can happen anywhere. So that's why I said I can almost relate to saying, it's about who you know, not what you know, because like I had it in there, and it was definitely very profitable, and I probably should have done more to branch out from that instead of being relied on that only customer. And I did it because it was that good, and it was so hard to find somebody else to go haul with. I mean, there were some railroad ties and stuff off and on, but it just that's the whole thing that everyone gets in a whole upheaval about brokers and stuff. To be able to run your own trucking business and keep track of your permits, keep track of the IFTA miles, keep track of the drivers. You get the random phone calls where the drivers can't make simple decisions. Keep track of maintenance and breakdowns. Do all that, and especially also if you're still running your own truck like I was, because it was easy money. The money was there. You don't have time to get on the phone and try to introduce yourself with first of all, usually what happens is you call these companies and you always get the lady on the phone, receptionist, and they either want a direct extension or they ask your name and whatnot, and they say hold on, and they get a hold of usually the shipping and receiving manager or whatnot, and of course they don't know who the hell you are, and they get these phone calls all day from brokers and everything else, and they either say, leave a message, or they just simply hang up on you. And I would say most of the time, any of the direct customers I've ever secured were direct face to face, showing up. Either when I was in the area, I would go put on something decent, a nice button down, nice set of boots, just clean shaved, well, as clean as I'm going to get, and go in there and act like you have an appointment. If you can, go on a LinkedIn profile, go into the company record and find out the name of who need to speak with, the shipping and receiving manager, the director of traffic. They have all these zippity names or whatever they come out and do, for these shipping and receiving warehouses and facilities. And you just simply go in there, act like you're supposed to be there, and say the guy's name, introduce yourself or whatnot. A lot of times they'll at least come out because they think they might have forgot that they made an appointment or whatnot. And that's the way I made a few connections with shippers and receivers and had some direct customers there. Simply BSing my way in. And a lot of people don't have the courage. I wouldn't even say courage. I would say audacity, maybe. What's the worst they're going to do? Kick you out? Call security? Say no? Say they have no idea who you are? I mean, that's things that have happened to me. But you're not gonna stay afloat in a market like this or economy like this. Just I'm not taking any chances or doing anything drastic. It's just not going to happen. Like even now, I'm debating whether or not, like I said, to have a plan C or D or E or whatever, because it's a nice truck. Things can change in a heartbeat. And when the economy starts getting like this, trucking is the first one to see cuts, because like I said, we're a necessary evil to most of these shippers and receivers. What's up, Scorpion Trucker? I guess I got a lot of comments there real quick. Let's see what Shannon Thomas said. Dart is struggling. Yes, they have been able to renew contracts, significant rate, hence less freight for their contract drivers. And the spot market's so hard for the new drivers are failing right off. They're basically failing right off the bat. Lease purchase, so they are losing those drivers too. Yep. Let's see here. Hey, the post trip. Let me get back up here, make sure I read all of the things. All right. Yeah, the post trip. Hey, what's up? Yeah, that's Spectre. Let's see here. Morning sty or whatever. Running a bit. You're running a business. If you don't grow, you will struggle. In down times, you have to grow or you die. Yep, that is 100% right, Spectre. With growth comes volume, performance. Let's see. Shannon Thomas said, "Man, I think my contact's getting screwed up." I began negotiating a deal with a direct customer for the first time with a place super close to my home. Dipping my toes in. Yep, that's you just gotta stick your neck out. Act professional. That's another thing. You get these owner operators on here that say, "Oh, the market's bad, everything's horrible," and they they I'm they simply don't know how to write an email, like a business email. They don't want to clean themselves up. They think they're gonna, like, I don't want to. We all know what I'm talking about, and they think they're just gonna go in there and be like, "Yo, I live down the road here, and I'm gonna haul your stuff here. Now you're gonna pay me $3 a mile," and it's just simply not gonna happen like that. Like, one thing I noticed that when I dealt with brokers, and like when I dealt with some brokerages, I usually did better. I mean, there's constant. I'm trying to say this. There is some guys that say that they did better talking to a broker is like that they were an owner operator and they were going to only run this load and everything. I seem to do a lot better when I portrayed myself as a dispatcher of the company I was with. They they were willing to give me more information for some reason. They were willing to, uh, I guess, just offer me more loads. I guess you could say it just seemed like more of a professional kind of experience than when I would normally just call up a broker and they would think I'm a driver. Maybe I presented myself as a dispatcher, because usually I would just call them up or talk to them or write them an email. And they usually, I guess, assumed that I was a dispatcher, maybe because I was more professional. That's the only thing I think of. And then I would usually just use that to my advantage. And they would usually ask if they had more loads and stuff, and I would tell them that right now we only have this one truck in the area, and yada yada yada. And a lot of times it scored me extra loads. So when I did come back home or come back in that area, I could always get in touch with that broker. And like I said, he just kept me. I guess he kept me around because I guess he thought I was a dispatcher for a larger company. I guess worth. I was worth more as a dispatcher, dispatching more trucks, or supposedly he thought, then I would have been just a one man show. That's what I noticed when I was doing a lot of spot market and stuff. Um, let's see. Spectre says, "Dude, I have taken so many risks, but they are always market calculated. When you become strained, it's time to open the dam and get the water flowing however you can." Yep. Um, Stagnant water allows for bacteria, leads to death. Applies as trucking too. That too. I mean, there's a lot of guys that just want to become one show owner operators, and I don't really think I don't think the authority is really made for that anymore. I think if you're going to get your authority, you're going to have to, at least within the first, you might be able to run one man show 1 or 2 years, um, but majority of it, you're going to have to grow and become a fleet. It almost doesn't. If you're not within 2 or 3 years, if you don't have your own authority and you're not either with a dedicated customer or leased onto a carrier, I mean, it's not even worth it. I mean, it's just not worth it. Um, if you're like one of these good old, Georgia boys or out in Iowa or something, you're running for a co-op or something, and you got your own authority and stuff, and you're running end dump or bottom dump. That's a different thing. You can get away with running your own little authority and servicing that same customer or multiple farms or whatnot like that. But as a whole in this industry, I think the days of the one man authority for years and years and years are kind of dwindling. I'm not saying it can't be done 100, but it's not. There's just so many permits, so many things you got to keep up with. The insurance now is like a big thing. Like I said, like when I said earlier in this video, all these giant nuclear verdicts. The real big thing that I stressed earlier on in this video was I can't believe the appeal got overturned for Warner there. Um, that whole situation, I can't understand how it's the driver's fault. Uh, they were saying he was doing 40 in inclement weather, but yeah, the speed limit's 80, so technically he was doing like under the speed limit. But oh, and whether or not the fact he was a newer driver apparently played into it too. They basically acted like, well, it was bad weather, he should have been on the road. But I don't see the difference. The difference between the mother, if you don't know what I'm talking about, so apparently Warner is being sued or is sued or whatever. The verdict's pretty much handed down now, I guess. But they had a driver, was a mother, and she had her children in the back of a pickup truck. I think it happened somewhere in North Texas. They ended up getting some snow and ice, and nobody knows in Texas how to drive through snow and ice. They don't even have the equipment to take care of it usually. And she was traveling the other way, most likely, I'm going to assume speeding. She lost control of the truck, came through the center median, and I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure there was a video of it, or at least I've seen a recreation. I don't remember what it was, because this kind of happened a while ago. And I think she went through one of those cable barriers and came on the other opposite side of the road in front of Warner, and the Warner driver hit her. And it she was in the wrong, but somehow it ended up becoming 100% Warner's fault. Uh, they awarded her a $1 million settlement, or a $100 million settlement, and I think it was I don't know if it was a jury trial or not, but anyway, she lost a child. Another child is paralyzed. Another one, probably, I think they said, has lifelong injuries, and supposedly I think she even has in injuries, and she has injuries, I think, to like brain. I wouldn't say brain damage, but she's you get hit by a truck head on, it's you're going to be pretty screwed up. But I don't see how that's Warner's fault at all. And the problem when you get stuff like this, and it went through appeals court, and apparently appeals court upheld it. I sure hope. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can take it to a Supreme Court. I don't think they'll even hear cases like that. But I'm hoping Warner takes it to a Supreme Court. I'm not gung ho about Warner, but things like this, when you have, when you can't take responsibilities for your actions, and you just start laying out these verdicts just to pay people, I mean, it sets a really bad precedence up. And the problem is, any other lawsuits from here on out that involve trucks and injuries and stuff like that, they're going to go back to this case. They're going to use it as a precedence, and it's pretty much going to make whatever we do. It almost already is whatever we do 100% our fault, but it's going to make it 10 times worse. It's almost scary thinking. Like I said, if we screw up the insurance that we have. I'm talking about us, like smaller fleets, single carrier, owner operators and stuff, the progressives, the man, I can't even think of them out there because there's so little of them out there now. And most of them are just rewritten through Progressive, or who's the other one out there? I would say OIDA, but I don't know who they're really written through. But they're just regurgitated policies through the same insurance companies. We used to have a big pool back in the day, and I'm saying back in the day, I mean like 2010 and forward. Well, back really. We used to have a bigger pool of insurance companies we could go to and get truck insurance. Well, that's dwindling because now with all these nuclear verdicts and stupid verdicts like I'm saying the Warner verdict, it's we're at like you could fall. The driver could lose control now, fall off a bridge. We hit him head on, and somehow it would be our fault. We weren't either supposed to be there. We should have been in a different lane. We should have been, it was raining that day, so instead of doing, 45 and a 55, we should have been doing 35. Yeah, it's going to turn into that. And even that, yeah, that was with camera. I'm pretty sure. I think that Warner crash. So even with the camera showing her coming through the median and everything, it blows my mind. And I guess that's why I'm up in a little bit of a bad view about what's going on, because I can see that if I get my authority now, and I let's see here, what state was that? That was in Texas. That was in Texas, Spectre. That happened in North Texas. How much you want to bet? Well, no, that's what I would assume. But I mean, I guess because it wasn't really that bad out. Um, and I think what they said that he did go past a cop, and I guess because they wanted to see where where he was. I guess they wanted to follow his path, and I guess it got that intense of an investigation. I guess he went by a trooper. I don't know how far long ago, but the trooper clocked him at 40 mph, and technically he was well under the speed limit. But I guess they wanted to say that even though he was doing 40 mph, he was going too fast for conditions. So I'd imagine if he wasn't supposed to be on the road, I would imagine that trooper would have, got him. But it wasn't really that bad, I guess. I'm not. It wasn't like that ice storm that Texas had. So it's Texas. I'm a snowstorm. I bet the roads were closed to commercial trucks. Well, if that's the case, I would imagine, um, what's it called? Warner would have had no presence even doing the appeal. But from what I remember reading about it, they didn't say anything about the roads being closed. But I mean, if someone wants to pull it up real quick, um, that could be a thing too. But you know what though? That's still kind of, in my opinion, it would be different. I would say if he caused the accident, because she could have crossed the median and ran into another pickup truck or another car or whatnot and killed people in the car. So I mean, I don't see how that makes any difference because of the type of vehicle. Uh, like what happens if I was a truck driver and that happened and I got hurt from that? I'm pretty sure I would be trying to sue her. I would imagine. Um, but then again, I guess it comes in the precedence of almost like the DUI driver. Like let's say I was a DUI driver and I was driving and I got T-boned at a red light. Well, technically, I wasn't supposed to be on the road anyway. So I do get what you say there. Yeah, yeah, you're right. It proves that Warner should have never even been there. But yeah, I don't think it was that, because I would imagine I would have ended up either that or the article I read didn't mention it. But I'm pretty sure I would have heard about that already, and I don't think there would have been as much uproar about it as there is. Because now that you're saying that, though, that brings up a pretty good point. Now you think about it, because I'm in Pennsylvania, and now our great governor here, as soon as we get a snowflake on the ground. They decided to shut down all the highways to commercial vehicles. Um, it, that you know what that really brings up a precedence there that I didn't think about there, Spectre. Yeah, maybe this year if it snows, maybe, and they shut down the roads because I'm not going to lie, I've driven through the closures and all that bull crap. And then you know what? They say no. Sometimes they'll just be like no empties. Well, what happens if I'm empty and then somebody crosses the median and hits me? You're right. The lawyer might be like, well, you were empty. You weren't even supposed to be on the road anyway. So it's automatically your fault. So yeah, that brings up a whole different precedence for liability as an owner operator or you know fleet owner. Because I know for a fact when it snows up there in Pennsylvania, you'll still have FedEx managers and stuff. They'll still make those guys drive because I see them out all the time. And they're like either empty or they're still running doubles sometimes. And yeah, that becomes a really big liability now. Thinking of it, who else I just saw pop up in here? Oh, I just saw Nevada. Hey, what's up, Nevada? Uh, yeah, agreed. But holds that Warner never should. Yep, if Texas declared a state of emergency, that storm roads are closed to commercial vehicles. Yeah, I don't think it was before that ice storm. Yeah, this has been going on. I think this case has been going on for like a good 5 years. I think I forget when it actually popped out. Like I said, if I had my other phone, I could probably pull it up. But let's see, Nevada. That driver was new, and I think talked too much. They used things like he wasn't allowed a CB, which, from what I know, that's not true. That was not the driver. Was not what? Well, not true. That was that driver's experience. Oh, you mean they were saying it's because he didn't have a CB? Is that what they were saying? Yeah, that he should have known that there was trouble on the road. I did see something about they were saying something about the CB radio, and I thought they were trying to say that he was on the CB radio. But I don't see. I don't know that would I think only would come into account if you had like a pile up anything to do with the CB radio. I don't think it would matter about that. If anything, if he wasn't supposed to be on the road, I would imagine that the trooper that apparently clocked him down the road. I don't know where they clocked him at, but I know they said that the trooper clocked him. I guess they went back through video footage, and I guess it saves all that crap. And the trooper clocked him on the road doing 40 mile an hour going the other way. I don't know. For Warner, I don't think Warner has any problems with CB radios. I don't know. Maybe they do. Some of these mega carriers, I know they don't want you to have a CB radio, which I don't know. It makes no. I guess they feel it's a distraction. But I don't know. How the hell would a CB radio helped him out anyway? Like I said, the only way I would have think that CB radio would have helped him out is if it was a pile up. Her coming across the medium and hitting him head on, I don't think would have really. It wouldn't have cared if he had a CD or not. It would have made no difference. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't see how a CB would have saved his ass anyway in this situation, whether he had one or not. Like Spectre said, if they had an actual no commercial trucks on the road, I could see. But I know when I saw the video, I'm pretty sure they had video. When I saw the video was a long time ago. When this actually first happened, I think there was a video out there. Oh, okay, I got a wild turkey just chilling over here. Um, I was like, what the hell? Some big ass thing come rolling out. Here's a turkey. But anywho, when I saw it was a couple years ago when I think when it like first went down, and I think there is a video of the truck, the pickup truck losing control on the other side and coming into the Warner driver, like a dash cam video or something. And it didn't look that bad on the road. I mean, like all it takes is one hitting one piece of black ice doing 50 or 60 mile an hour to change that. So I don't know. Maybe it if it just happened and they just put it out, if you're driving along and they just decide to be like state of emergency, then yeah, I would say that yeah, you should have been off the road. But like Pennsylvania, hell, Pennsylvania will put the road closures out before the storm even comes, before there's even snow on the ground. They'll like 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours before the storm even hits, they'll already have you know no doubles and triples, no empties. And if it's real bad storm, they'll just close all the roads to commercial vehicles. And when I used to do the utility poles, I pretty much did not pay any attention to that crap, to be honest with you. If I had utility poles to run somewhere, as far as I was concerned, it was for utility, and that's what happened there. And if I was coming back, I sometimes I would load an extra pole or two poles and come back with a pole on it, so I could be like, well, I'm loaded technically. Um, that's how I used to do that. But like I said, Spectre made a great point. If that's the precedence that this kind of case is going to bring to light, that anytime there's you know a, a truck ban, or even if they do even if you're going down the road and all of a sudden they decide to say, hey, this road's too bad for conditions, everyone needs to get off. Anybody from the other side of the road or the road you're driving on, if there's any kind of accident, would automatically become your fault. What I want to know is maybe these pileups too. I want to see if the follow up on some of these giant pileups that we've had lately here with trucks, whether or not that's coming to play, whether or not the trucks were allowed to technically be on the road. Let me see my time here real quick, guys. I just have to check my ELD real quick there. Let's see here what we got going on over here. Yeah, Shannon, I always believe I've always had a CB 1 by 1. Even when I did local day cab job stuff, I had a CB. I've had the CB here. Geez, how long have I had this damn unit in? I've had this unit in since like 2014, 15 maybe. And it's ridden in every truck I've had. Whether I was even when I did that kind of pissed me off a little bit. When I did LTL work, technically I had an assigned truck, and usually I always got it, but once in a while they would hand it out and stuff when I did some LTL shit. And it just pissed me off because I had my CB in there, and I don't know. I just always liked, especially because I was doing line haul at nights and stuff. It was nice having the CB in the truck, especially running 80, because I would go up to like what is it, like Snowshoe up there in Pennsylvania in the middle of the winter, and it was always nice being able to hear, have drivers tell me what was going on ahead of me, and whether or not there was trucks spun out, or when I went down to what is it, Smithton, or Somerset down there off of the Turnpike. So, like if you don't have a CB in the truck, I don't know why mega carriers would say it's a distraction. I've never seen a video like a dash cam video facing inwards of some guy doing this and crashing a truck. I I don't know, but like I guess if you have an inward facing camera, technically anything you do is a distraction. Because like I said, when I talked to one of the top Walmart drivers at Matt's, and he was going on about what they expect from the drivers and stuff, and that they had inward facing cameras. They weren't allowed to take a drink. They weren't allowed to even play the radio. They wanted to pull over for everything. And then if they're on the side of the road, let's say they, I don't know, we're getting something to eat or do something or make a phone call. If the phone call lasted more than 10 minutes, they wanted them to go out and put the triangles out, which, I mean, I would say the gray area with safety and trucking is kind of getting a little ridiculous anymore. We're basically held accountable 100% of the time for everything we do. And I know I don't know, it kind of sucks. And you'll get a lot of guys that say, because I get them on my, they make comments on YouTube too all the time. They'll make comments on the YouTube channel like, well, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I do it all the time and stuff. But it's gotten so bad that even the most cautious, straight shooting arrow, truck drivers can easily get caught up in this crap now, easily. And it's like I said, when you get your authority now, if you're just gonna be a one man show, you've got to really think about like the responsibility and everything that you're taking on to do that, just to drive around in one truck and everything. It's almost made that you have to grow to be able to cover situations that can arise, whether that be through economic problems or through regulatory problems. I guess it's just I just can't believe how quickly, I guess you could say, how quickly trucking has changed in the last 5 years or so. Damn, I got hot sauce on my damn hands. And when I mean change, I just mean like it's gotten more micromanaged, I would say, whether that be, from a regulatory standpoint or from a, I guess, business standpoint, like economic standpoint. It's just everything has to be micromanaged. You have to watch everything 100% of the time, or it won't take much to get you, to be out of business, or to, who knows, even be in jail anymore. Yep, Spectre, you gotta cross your T's and dot your I's now, and it's gotten to the point where I don't know. It's just gotten really. It's not. I wouldn't say it was ever fun, but I mean, at least you were able to have some room to breathe, and it's now turned into a super regulated business. And I know a lot of guys are like, oh, it's unregulated. I mean, it's to a point, it's unregulated. But then you got the guys that are coming in, they're saying they want more regulations, they want the brokers this, they want truckers this and everything. And I don't know, there's only like one thing I personally would like changed that I think would help out, but apparently a lot of guys are saying it really wouldn't make a difference. I think to get your authority, whether you're a broker or a carrier, I think it should cost more. I think they should make the entrance to the barrier to entry to get your own authority. I think they should make it, more. And I guess it's not going to keep out a lot of the overseas guys because they'll just get a loan or something or scam more people to get money. I don't know. But what it will keep out is the guys that randomly go out. They take what little savings they have or credit cards. They go into Loan Mountain. They take out a cash cash advance on their credit card, and they go into loan amount and they put it down on a truck, and then they go out and get an authority, and they're up and running in like a month or so. And I think it might at least alleviate some of them problems. I would like to get rid of some of the overseas, owned carriers that the owner has no idea what's even going on over here. But I don't think that's going to mandate IQ minimums before licenses are issued. Yeah, that would probably help too. Um, but it's not even that because if you think about it, they're probably back in the day before they required like higher education for pilots and stuff. I mean, there were probably some great pilots out there that were, you know, not educated and whatnot, and probably didn't have great IQs, but they knew their stuff. I just think I would like to see how many times some of these people that I will see out here. I'd like to see how many times they had to try to pass their CDL exam. Um, that's what I would like to know. I'm pretty sure that's gotten way too far. Yes, rolling with Ryan. You can't complain about regulation and then ask for more in your next sentence. Yeah, you're absolutely. Well, I guess you're talking about me. Yeah, well, I don't know if you're talking about me or not. I mean, do you mean about the to make the authority cost more? I mean, it's already out there. You already have to pay for authority. I just think it should cost more. That's all. Um, I think the regulation that guys want now mostly are regulations to hold their hand through everything. They want somebody to come in and tell them what they're allowed to earn, and that's what they're going to earn. And some of the safety regulation that we have, I mean, a lot of it was already written. It was supposed to be meaningful, but a lot of the safety regulation we have is total. It was written by somebody that's never even stepped foot in a truck. It makes no sense. Um, I'll I'll be the first. When ELDs first came out, I was a little bit happy just for the fact that when I was doing paper logs, the company I was with, I mean, I had control. At least I liked being able to pull over when I was tired and everything. I fudged my logs just like everyone else did. But the company I was with, oh my gosh, they acted like I could run 20, like I didn't have to sleep or rest at all. If I wasn't able to get the naps in, I don't know how I would have been able to make it because they ran me through the gamut. And I made good money. I made good money running paper logs. I mean, when I wanted to slow down or stop, they just still wanted to keep me going, no matter what. And that was a little bit happy when ELDs did come out for that reason. But in the long term, though, the way they set the ELDs up, it didn't. It's like I said, it's now like racing a clock, like you're playing Sega or something, and you're racing to get to the next checkpoint. That's the way I think ELDs basically went for that reason. Well, I would say that rolling with Ryan. The problem is though that they're already not open and free though. Like take for instance the ATA. I think the reason we have a lot of the problems with the insurance too is because the ATA. I know ATA fought real hard there. What was it, years ago, to get the mega carriers to be able to basically self-insure themselves. And the reason I think they did that is I think they wanted to um, close out some of the competition. And that I think that a little bit should have been a little bit regulated. I don't know. It's hard to say. If we had an open market, like 100% open market, I think what would mostly happen, well, you'd still have the mega carriers. I think we would have so much competition that it almost would push shippers and receivers into the mega carriers' hands, because you would have. All right, I'm going to make an example here. So my lawnmower video, if you watch, you go back, and you see me driving through New York, through Queens and everything. I remember a couple years ago driving through Queens and the Bronx, and you didn't see any of these tatos or whatever, these three-wheeled trike things that now they drive around over the place without no regulation. And I know there is regulation in New York about it, but people just don't simply care. They're just all over the place, and when that happens, it's just it drives chaos. And I think the same thing would happen if there was no regulation at all in the trucking industry, like none. You would probably go back to. I think it would go back to the way it was back in the late 70s and early 80s, when you basically owned a lane, perhaps, or leased onto a lane. Basically, the mega carriers that got into these shippers would own that lane, and then they would have to either allow you to run under their authority and run that, like, being leased on. I mean, I remember guys telling me that they used to have to physically change the card on the side of the truck to run for different carriers, to run different lanes. And I don't think that was I don't think that worked out very good either. I think us losing, like you said, I think us becoming regulated or losing some of the regulations did help. Anyway, the whole system needs an overhaul. Really, is what it needs. There's a lot of things that are regulated now that are on the books. That now what's happening is there just aren't being. The FMCSA isn't actually coming out and enforcing the laws that are on the books, I guess you could say. So much there, rolling with Ryan. And you are right. It is only getting worse. But like I said, competition does help, like either for the shipper or receiver and everything. The problem, though, is the way we got competition set up is we got guys that are carriers and authorities and whatnot that aren't playing by the rules. Like, just for instance, like even the brokers. There's like tons of the overseas scammy brokers. The same thing with carriers. There's tons of carriers that are acting as a broker when they're not, and it undermines the confidence in the market. And what I'm a little worried about is when we all had this COVID thing happen, when they started coming and asking these larger carriers, when Joe Biden did that, that meeting with the like Walmart and the bigger carriers and stuff, and he said, "Oh, I fixed the transportation crisis." What it almost sounded like what they wanted, really what they were asking for, is they wanted like a centralized transportation, to either go to either a handful of carriers or one carrier or something that's ran by the government. That way we wouldn't have these ups and downs in the market and price variations and stuff. It's almost like it almost sounded like a communistic kind of transportation market they wanted, where there was either just a small group of carriers that did everything, almost like a Walmart. Like, before you had all these other stores, you used to have Caldor, Clover, I'm trying to think of everything, Kmart. You had a pick of places to go, and they all carried different things. Caldor would have this brand, and Kmart would have this brand, and this. Like, it's funny. I went the other day shopping for a new silverware set for the house, and I was like, well, I know what Walmart has. I don't want what Walmart has. Let's go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond by me are closed. and they're out of business. So now where am I going to go find you know unique or different kind of silverware or whatnot? And I'm sitting there looking and thinking, and there's Target. You got Target, but it's like the same as Walmart. There really there isn't a big difference in the variety. So I pretty much said, well, the only thing I can do is go order off Amazon. And the only nice thing about Amazon now is, at least where I live, most of the stuff I can get either same day or the next day. So that's where I ended up going, is Amazon. And to not be able to actually go into a store and get something you want right away, like right then, it kind of bothered me a little bit. And that's the way, though, I think we're going, is that we want everything in a one conglomerate company taking care of everything. And I think that's the way we're going to go. We're going to go to either just Walmart or Amazon, and maybe Target will still be around, and it's, I don't know. I think they're going to try to do that with this industry too. I think we're just going to have, like, we'll have Swift. Swift will just keep buying companies up, and the government will allow it. And you'll have Swift with, I don't know, 50 or 60,000, 100,000 trucks and a million trailers or something like that, and they'll control the whole market, or at least a good portion of it. It's like they were preaching back then when we had the problem with COVID. They were preaching market stability. They didn't, and like, if you watch, there's a CNN. Is it CNN or NBC? I don't know if it's a CNN or NBC. There's a documentary they did about why we can't get stuff during COVID and everything like that. And the way they portrayed that was that they said trucking in our transportation system is very fractured. We have all these smaller carriers. They were making it out to be like the smaller carriers, the smaller businesses or whatnot, were incapable of servicing the American people, and that we need these mega carriers and mega conglomerates to come in, and we need to get rid of these smaller carriers or whatnot. And I have a feeling that's kind of like in the direction we're going with a lot of things. You're going to have your pick of we either go to the red store or the green store, and that's it. There's going to be no mom and pop places, no nothing like that. I think that's what's going to happen with trucking here eventually, especially if autonomy comes to light. It's going to be, they're going to turn in, you'll have Swift will be the Walmart of the transportation industry. Everyone's just going to go to Swift or whoever maybe Prime, whoever able to withstand. As long as you have, it's going to be almost like cable too. You'll have Comcast and Verizon. Like in my area, that's all I had. Like, not where I currently live, but like in the Philadelphia area or New York area and stuff. Like, some places you only have Comcast or Verizon, and that's all you have. That's it. There is no competition. And I have a feeling that's the way trucking is going to come too, the way it's going. Let's see, Shannon Thomas, almost like a military of transport. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess there isn't any. I mean, at least in the United States, we don't really have any. What do they want to call that? Not paid, whatever they call paid militias, mercenaries. We don't have any mercenary group. I mean, well, I guess you could say we kind of do, but we don't necessarily have like a mercenary group that we can call up and pay. But yeah, it would be. I would say what they want is a monopoly. They want a controlled government monopoly on transportation, and I think that's eventually where we're going to head, because I think COVID made that apparent, and I'm guessing it. The way they thought it did something with the economy. It cost these businesses money, and they don't want to lose money, so they'll manipulate the free market, and yeah, I have a feeling that's where we're going to go. We're going to go to conglomerate trucking companies, and most of us smaller fleets and owner operators are just going to fall by the wayside. But at least that's how I feel about that per se. I don't know. I basically just been bullshitting with everyone right now. Like I said, I didn't really have anything good to talk about. I've been trying to think of things to, get people riled up, maybe thinking that their business is going to succeed and things are going to get better. But I don't, honestly don't see it getting better. If it does, we're not going to be able to forecast it. Let's put it that way. It'll just one day like click. It'll just happen. Probably that's the way I see the market changing. Um, I know for a fact there's definitely a lot of guys dropping out, and then considering that we're having people drill holes out of tires, well, I think they got 140 trucks the other weekend or something. That's going to probably put a few guys out of business, and it kind of sucks having to look at it like that. But I guess that's just what happens. Um, let's see, Jersey Trucker, Cowdoor, yeah. It's been a long time since I heard that name of the store. Um, yeah, there was man, I remember all of them. Cowdoor. What else was there? There was Clover. We still have, at least where I live, we still have Boscoff's. That's like a regional company. I would say that's like it's almost like Pomeroy's. Like I remember Pomeroy's. And I'm not that old. I mean, I'm 86. I was born, but at least that stuff still held on. But like, look, we have a lot of people wouldn't think. Was it Macy's? A lot of people didn't think Macy's would go under, and it did. J.C. Penney's is probably just about ready eventually here. They're ready to fade in the light, and it's I don't know. It almost seems like it's planned adolescence, opulence, whatever they say. It, because eventually, what will happen is we'll just have Walmart, I'd imagine, and Walmart, whatever competitors eventually, Walmart or Amazon will just buy up, and it almost seems like we're getting into the what was it? What was that? Not Rockefeller. Who was it? Um, he owned all the Texacos and mobiles and stuff, but it almost seems like it's going to turn into that monopolized situation where the government will get in bed with like one company, and it's just gonna I don't know. It doesn't look like there's good hope for the future. So it's yeah, I was gonna say Snorlord's probably going live right about now. So I'm gonna hop off here. Everyone go out and check out Snorlord. Um, I don't know. Eventually, I'd like to do like an actual educational live instead of just me sitting here bullshitting. But it's gonna be pretty hard until I get like a laptop together and start reading off articles and stuff. But this is just really for me to kill time here, guys. But hey, everyone that stopped in here, thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and smash the like button on your way out, and go check out Snorlord. Hopefully he's definitely got a lot of knowledge and can at least push you in the right direction to maybe try to keep on trucking and keep making money. So hey, thanks, Nevada. I try. Yeah, this trucking reviews. This guy always negative. Yeah, no, Josh. I mean, I don't know. It's it's not. I'm just going by what I see now. Economically, it doesn't look good. I know if the economy doesn't get better, trucking ain't going to get better. So, and if the economy is getting worse, I don't think trucking's going to get too much better. Don't want. Let's see. Let's see David here. Let's see trucking reviews. Don't want to. He will pull. Oh, he'll put me to sleep. He'll put me to sleep. Oh, you don't want to? Why not? Go ahead and watch Snorlord. I don't know. Uh, see, trucking reviews. I've been in it 20 plus years, both sides, and it's done a lot for me. Well, I'm not saying don't get into trucking. I'm just saying it's not easy out here, and I don't know. I don't want everyone to come in and become an owner operator and stuff, and automatically think they're going to make $1 million like everyone's been doing still. David Edwards. It's been. Am I doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's just I've been busy really. Things have been lanes have been changing over here at Tyson and things like that. Uh, it's just you know, I guess I haven't really had time between taking off and doing family stuff to really put out any content. Like that, most of the stuff I still sitting on, like the trip to Tennessee I was put out. That was sitting on an SD card now for like almost a month now, and I just been trying to catch up ever since Matt's really, and just I don't know. I haven't really had much to say because, like I said, to me, in my opinion, everything that's been going on out there has been bad. I mean, and I just don't feel the content that I have to put out. At least now, going off the cuff, I don't feel that I have good content to put out. Um, yeah, Jersey Trucker, Kmart, Sears. I can't believe Sears but Sears. If you go back and you watch a documentary about Sears, Sears put themselves out of business. They did a lot of stupid stuff. Um, and a lot of it was after they built the Sears Tower in Chicago, apparently. If you go back and go through a documentary about Sears, they really, I don't know if maybe investors got into Sears and just, you know, pillaged Sears as a company and then just let it drop to the ground. That's almost sounds what happened. But that's a shame because imagine how old Sears was. You had Sears catalogs, and so you buy a freaking house. You buy a house off a Sears catalog. You know, Nevada was up. Uh, huh, was up. What's up? Maybe. So I don't know. Maybe I'll stay in here. Let's see how much more time I got on my clock here. Yeah, I'll probably get going here anyway a little bit because I gotta eventually get over here to where am I going? Again, Seabrook, New Hampshire, to the U.S. Foods over there. So I'm probably gonna kill it here anyway. Probably in, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes maybe. But I don't know, like what I was saying, Josh. It's not that I want to say it's all doom and gloom, but I'm not the type of guy to go out there and be like, yeah, get your authority, take the risk right now. It's the in my sense right now the cards are stacked up against you, and it's just not a good idea to do it. Um, and unless you get like I said, unless you end up doing something like I did, like get with a direct customer, somebody has direct freight. And the problem though is there's so much lying and BS in trucking. You could go hire on with a company tomorrow and they're like, yeah, we got tons of freight, things are great, and you hire on there and they have you run 2 loads, and next thing you know you're like, what the hell's going on? I'm sitting for 2 days. Oh well, we had a truck go down or the plant went down, and they'll feed you bullshit for like a month until what? You got to decide whether or not you're going to jump somewhere else. You got bills, you got your truck payment and stuff, and you're leased onto this carrier and they're feeding you a bunch of shit. They don't care about you. Um, and that's the way that's the way I feel most likely what would happen if you end up buying your own truck right now and went side on with carrier. You would get fed just enough bullshit to keep you there until the numbers don't make sense. That's the way I feel about it right now. And that's kind of like why I I guess why I sound down and shitty all the time right now, at least in this market, because I don't want I don't want guys to be fed BS. I don't want guys to be hustled. I think that's probably one of the worst. That's almost how we got ourselves into this situation, to be honest with you. It's all the BS and I make $1 million. I do that. You can do it too. Buy my plan for 1995. Do my coaching call and this and that and this. It's we complain about being hustled by lease purchases and predatory, you know, loans and um, and all that crap. And here we are. There's truck drivers going on there and feeding other guys this make believe that even in the down market, no matter what, you can still make tons of money. And I mean, I guess it depends how you look at tons of money. If you're like a CSA Walmart employee making, $12 an hour and you become a truck driver, well, you just probably went from making what, like $400 a week to maybe making $1,000 a week. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to go out and you're going to buy a new car, whether that be used or new. Here about that. So I'll make it more obvious right now. The average car payment in America right now is now $730 a month. $730 a month for an average car payment. It like skyrocketed like in the last year or so. Now that being said, the average car, well, not the average, but well, maybe it was the average. I'm not quite sure if this was the average length of the lease of a car payment now, but the average car payment now, the length of it is 92 months. 92 months. $730 for 92 months. You're talking about semi-truck payments. The damn international I was paying for was like $900 a month. Well, there you go, Josh. Well, your car payment is what last year's car payment average was, or I think there like a year ago the average car payment was like $610 a month or something, or $20 a month. Well, hopefully it's a new car though. Hopefully you got a brand new car there, Josh, for 72 months for 605 a month. But I mean, these are people with used cars and stuff that are paying like stupid shit like that. Like, and that's what they'll do. They'll become a truck driver. They'll get your authority or whatever, and they'll start making 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,500, and they'll just start pissing the money away. And the problem is, you know, I guess it all depends on how you look at it. Because like there was a conversation I had in one of these trucking forums. People were like, "Oh, how do guys live on $1.50 a mile? How do guys?" And I said, "You know how they do it?" I said, "There are guys that don't have a house. They live in their, 20-year-old Peterbilt or whatever, or 10-year-old or 15-year-old, I don't know, T800 or whatever you might want to call it. They live in it. They have no house bills. They either eat on the road or they, put stuff in their truck. And, it's, they can get by with making $1.20 a mile. They can just live in the truck and they can do that. And then, like I said, you also have overseas carriers where, the guys live in the truck and they just send the money Western Union, either to Mexico or India or wherever it is. A couple $100. Like, what was I? Who had a live on? Sterling had the live on the other day, and Wheelburner came on. He was talking about his daughters that lived down in Mexico and how the currency conversion went for that. Shit, you send a couple $100 American down to your family in Mexico, and it would be the equivalent of you sending them maybe like $20,000 a month home or something like that here. So that's, they're happy with living in the truck, living the way they do, smelling the way they do. They're fine with that because they're accomplishing what they wanted to accomplish. So yeah, that's kind of like what you have to compete with now. All right, let's see how much Trucking Reviews here is paying for his car. Let's see, it's a 2019 Nissan Rogue, with 68,000 miles on it. Doing it, I have a house. I'm doing it, and I have a house. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that no offense there, Josh. I think that's a little too much money for a Nissan Rogue. Uh, but then again, I know probably what kind of situation you're in because I mean I've been there too. So uh, I think right now, when we bought my old lady a brand new, it was back in 2019. We bought her a brand new Chevy Traverse. I think I want to say we put $10,000 down on it. Maybe we put six. I can't remember. But the payment was 600. No, it was 585 a month or something. It was 585 a month for 72 months. I think that's what the payment was on the Traverse, and that was like a $40,000 SUV. So, and I get excellent fuel mileage. See, if I was single there, Josh, and I had a house and stuff, I probably would buy something dumb like a Hellcat or something, or a 393 or whatever, 392 Charger or some crap. I don't know. That's just me. What, the new ones? The new Chevy Verses? Now, we haven't had any problems with it. The only thing we had is they just replaced. I noticed that there was a little bit of it. I heard a little bit of an exhaust leak, and they warranted the downpipe. I think the weld on the mount that held the downpipe, it cracked, and put a little hole when the weld cracked on the downpipe, and that. Let's see what Nevada say. $530 for a trailer tire is what's bothering me with the current market. Can't believe people pay that. Man, Nevada. When I remember, it was funny when the shit really hit the fan there. I bought eight. I want to say Yokohamas, or the Yokohamas, or shit. I don't know if they were Yokohamas or what the hell's the other one? The other Korean tire. But I'll just say they were Yokohamas. I bought 8 Yokohama drives for my T800 that I had when I was doing a utility pole, the utility pole yard over there. And it came out to, I think I came out to like $300 a tire. So I think for like under 25 or $2,800, I bought 4 drive tires. Following post COVID, like literally that year, on another truck that was the same size tire, I went to go buy the same kind tire, and just to buy 4 of them, I was paying the price of 4. I was paying like $2,500 for 4 tires instead of 8. So that they literally everything doubled, within a year, just about. So I mean, that's the kind of bullshit that's. I mean, I don't think our income really doubled, per se. I mean, I guess for some of the guys that were making like $15,000 a week and stuff, all right, they might have doubled. But for most of us out there, we went from making five to, well, I guess technically our gross did double, but we didn't end up keeping all that, as a tire manufacturer would and stuff. But then again, maybe their prices, I'm sure a lot of their stuff went up. Like, look, containers were skyrocketing. I know for the vacuum that I was trying to sell, or I don't know what I'm going to do with that thing. For that thing, I was trying to maybe make, like, I don't know, trucking. What do we want? Trucking products. I don't know. But anyway, for that, like, cost to ship, like just a simple vacuum cleaner from China to here now. Shit, I remember I had something shipped from China pre-COVID, and it cost me like $15, $10. Now to ship a box from China to here is like it almost costs as much as the damn product. Like you're talking about like $40 or something. Uh, it's unless you're buying like huge bulk, containerfuls of shit, it's almost not worth it. Like you would have to like really invest, like make a big investment into doing something like that, selling goods directly. Um, you just said on what is it, Josh? You just said on one of your other videos, I don't have to deal with a woman or some crap. So actually, it's like her car. I just pay for it. See trucking reviews, 535 a tire. I paid $1,000 for a single Bridgestone. Yeah, like I mean, well, that's what I was saying when guys were drilling holes in these tires and stuff. People were like, "Oh, well, that sucks. It's not that bad." Like holy crap. Let's say you have a set of Michelins on your truck and trailer. You're talking about over $20,000 in tires. You know, plus the mountain and balance and everything. And if you had roadside service come out, you're talking like a $30,000 bill, a $30,000 bill to replace your freaking tires. And I don't know how, I don't know if that you would have to come out of pocket. I would imagine for that first. Your insurance company just isn't going to write you a check, you know, and I don't know how they would cover that. Is I never looked at a commercial truck policy or ever asked like Progressive, like is vandalism covered? You know, um, so who knows if that'll even get covered? They might not cover something like that. So that too. That stuff can put you out of business too. Not reading your insurance premium and seeing what it actually covers. Like look at Gentry and Sons, with the fire and stuff. Um, it's I don't know. Business. Like I said, I try not to make everything sunshine and rainbows because I want people to get a true picture of what they're going to deal with when they come out here, when they're going to start a business and stuff. Uh, Also, because when I first came out, I got given tons of bad advice. I wouldn't be in the tax situation I'm in now if I wasn't, given tons of bad advice. And I still, what was it? This what a few months ago. If Spectre's still in here, Spectre told me to give somebody out in Texas a call. I think I got their name. I had it written down. Doesn't help that their name's like copied by like 10 other different tax places. Um, and I've been meaning to have time and just sit down and just give them a call and try to take care of this because I know eventually what's going to happen here is the IRS is going to go full, you know, uh, what do you want to call it? Like torched earth on taxes eventually here, just because of the way things are going, and I don't want to be a part of that. So, but like I said, I don't want to give the sunshine and rainbows business knowledge that everyone gives. I want to be a non BS. Shit's bad, and you might not make it kind of guy. I guess I've always looked at the glass as half empty because I've always been screwed over either one way or another, either in trucking or just life in general. So that's why I don't want to. I don't know. I do try to give out like hope, but there isn't much. Once you start seeing the economy possibly falter, there's not much hope to give. Have a plan. You know, Besides plan A, have a B, C, D, E. Like technically, I'm probably on plan C or D or whatever. What I've been trying to accomplish here, and if shit goes south with the economy and Tyson takes a hit and they tell me to get the hell out of here, I really don't have a plan after that. I mean, what the hell? I'm going to be like where everybody else is, having to deal with brokers and hopefully beg and just try to make it through. Actually, there's no way I could make it. There's no way if I lost this account right now, dedicated account. I have like a $5,000 a month truck payment. There is no way in hell I would be able to keep this up. No way in hell. Especially running spot market. Like even though I stayed and lived out in the truck and everything, I don't think there's no way in hell I could keep this up. So, plus I would probably end up having to, I don't know. The only way I could maybe keep this truck payment up is somehow getting financed for a trailer. And I have a few little options up my sleeve, but it would be like a huge crapshoot. You know what I mean? It would definitely be taking on 100% more risk, and to the point where failure was almost imminent. That's what that would be. Yes, yeah, it is. I know. I saw with the. I think the Blitz helped that too out a lot. But still, when I had Snorlord, check out some of the flatbed rates. A dollar. What was that? Dollar like 84, $1.75 to go out to like South Dakota and stuff. It was like it was these are like Pennsylvania or New Jersey. What was it? $1.72 to go to Houston, and there was nothing really coming. There's nothing really coming out of Houston either that paid well. I don't know. I guess for flatbed, I can't see it being under $2 a mile to me on flatbed, unless that's your like backhaul load. It's not even worth me turning the key for under $2 a mile doing flatbed between the wear and tear on your body, the amount of equipment you have to buy and purchase, the amount of maintenance and stuff you have to perform. To anything under $2 a mile is not. I gotta do something like that. It's not. It's just not worth it. Anything under $2 a mile. So I don't know. That I guess that's why I don't really see the market looking much better. Maybe it's just because I'm looking at it as a sense of a flatbed. I've heard a few reefer guys though say they've been doing pretty decent lately, and I would imagine dry van, it's probably the way it usually is. It's the last one to come up at all. But I don't know. I don't see it lasting. Like it might be a little spike, I guess, here through the summer. What I really want to see is what it's going to do, closer to the crunch time when you get near Christmas and all that again. And like I said, with consumer confidence the way it is and everything, I don't know. I like to say there is some light, I guess, at the end of the tunnel, but it's not going to like blind you or sear your eyeballs or anything like that. It's just it's going to be a warm glow, I guess you could say. But all right. Well, that being said, I'm going to get going over to Seabrook, New Hampshire, drop off at U.S. Foods, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video. Uh, what I kind of almost wanted to do was have people call in or not call in, but either come on to like a StreamYard or whatnot, new guys, and like just go over, guys that are struggling and stuff, and go over their cost per mile, like what they're doing, what their plans were, and see, get into their heads and see what they think they should do, uh, and what have they done to try to help themselves. Because like I said, a lot of guys will get on here and they'll bitch and moan and moan and bitch. They'll broker this, the load board, and they'll be sitting like where I am. They'll be sitting in a giant industrial complex. And instead of putting on like a button-down shirt and a nice pair of jeans, or something, going and just walking in like with a business card, or even just come in with like a folder or a pamphlet, or just going on LinkedIn and finding out some of these shippers and receivers, the managers in some of these companies that they're sitting around. Instead of just doing that, they'll just sit here all day and complain on YouTube on how horrible everything is, and how everything needs to be regulated and stuff. And I don't know, like the one guy said, he said that, I'm technically, one sentence I'm saying not to be regulated, another one. It's not that I don't necessarily want more regulation. I just want some of the regulation that they've already have that technically was kind of made to protect the market and protect trucking. I just want it enforced. And I just want the ability to, like especially with raising the amount of your getting your authority. I just wanted to maybe keep some of the capacity down. That's all. Uh, some of the competition, and when I mean competition, I don't mean like guys are actually trying to, become a fleet. I mean competition, like the guys that come in, there'll be like one or two trucks. They'll come in a blaze of glory, like during when rates are up. They'll they won't follow the LD. They won't do all this crap. They run outlaw. Who knows if they even have insurance on both trucks? Maybe they only have it on one. They just print the card out. Uh, I want to see those guys have a harder time getting started. That's really what I would like to see. Like some just to keep the super super schemy, I guess, guys out of the market, out of the industry, and maybe get the guys that have no business in business out of the industry. But I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit harsh sometimes saying that. Because that could be interpreted a few different ways. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna be losing my voice here anyway shortly, and yeah, 53 step. Keep your head up. Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing bad. I guess it seems like I feel like I look like I'm depressed or something. I guess it's just I'm talking about bad shit. I'm not really necessarily stuck in it. Like I said, I'm shielded. I'm shielded from all that right now. But I can see where it might come into play for me. It might, like I said, if you just go and Google and type up Tyson right now, you will see that they lost 25% of their stock. They're having problems with income, and it's not just them; it's a lot of companies. So all right, so this Jackknife TV. Thanks everyone for stopping in here. We got this trucking reviews. It's Josh, Nevada. Shannon Thomas stopped by. Jersey Trucker stopped by. 53 Step. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Spectre stopped by. It's just it is what it is, guys. So I'll be getting out of here. Like I said, hit the like button on your way out, and go check out Snorlord. He's probably live right now. So I'll catch y'all later.